Hello, welcome back to Crystal Clear Coaching with your host, Crystal. That is I. I've got a bit of a different background here. Got my wardrobe open because I was pulling out potential sick outfits for work tomorrow. It's very exciting. Anyway, I thought it was a vibe, and I've worked in costume for many years, so it's my costume one. If you're a film and TV costume person, or work in film and TV in some capacity, you might know costume one is the first costume of the day, really, the shoot day, but can also refer to first costume in a script. Anyway, not important. Just a nerdy little reference there. So today I want to talk about why I like to lean into my breakdowns. That's kind of a wild thing to say, isn't it? But I learnt to lean into my breakdowns many moons ago now. My first personal development workshop that I did was called the Landmark Forum. I did it in 2012, end of 2012, and I hadn't done anything like that before, and I was going through life, I was in my early 20s, I was like 23, but I just felt like I couldn't express how I truly felt and what I wanted in the world for my life and such, completely, truly, honestly, without being basically drunk on a Saturday night, or at least tipsy, out partying with my mates, and then I'd be lucky if they were receptive to feeling like to actually listen to me properly, or I mean, I don't know, maybe it was searching for a bit of pity sometimes too, have a little pity party, good times. Not so anyway, I thought that's just how we were supposed to operate. We weren't allowed to be open with our feelings, our deep, true, core feelings. And then my wonderful brother invited me to check out this seminar that he'd just done. And they have an introductory evening at the end of the weekend. So it's like a 3-day course. You do Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then on the Tuesday evening you invite people in your life to come along, check it out for themselves. And I'd had an awful day at work that day. I was working as a fruit and vegetable packer and deliverer at the time. Yes, I've had a million jobs. What about it? And I was doing deliveries and I got stuck down a really steep driveway during like a rainy afternoon. I'm pretty sure it was rainy. It felt slippery. At least there was water on it. Anyway, it was a long time ago. But yeah, I got trapped in this driveway for like 45 minutes, which held up my deliveries and then just made everything kind of a little bit. And I always feel like I'm too slow as it is. So anyway, so I'd promised him I was going to come to this thing, and then I made it like, I don't know, 5-10 minutes down the road from work on my way there, and I pulled over and I just called him. I said, do I have to come to this thing? Like I don't know, like I just had an awful day and I just kind of don't want to. And he's like, oh, that's okay, yeah, whatever you need, like it's all good. Would love for you to come, but anyway. And then I basically turned him down and turned around and started driving the other direction home. And then just had this moment of like, was that a bad idea? I was actually kind of excited to hear what this thing was about. Okay, and I'll just pull over, and at the time I had this Magic 8-Ball application on my phone. Real cool. And I just thought, well, I'll just pull over and I'll ask the Magic 8-Ball application, see what it says. And I asked it if I should go to this thing and turn around and go to this thing. And it said, yes, definitely. Thank God it did. So called my brother back, said, can I still make it? He's like, yep, sure. And so went down there and basically was all about it. Yeah, as soon as I got there, just like hearing people like telling their stories and opening up and sharing true, real, authentic stuff, it blew me away, and it was desperately what I wanted and needed at the time. I'm getting tingles just thinking about it. And also, it just happened to be my brother had met someone on some other courses he'd done in Australia, and she'd come to New Zealand to do this particular seminar, Landmark, and that lovely lady that I met that night, later, many moons later, she became my friend, but in 2021 she became my coach of my coaching course. So I got certified through her course called Whole Life Coaching. I messed that up a little bit, but it's through the school growth. Anyway, it's a very intimate, small group of people she takes through. In recent years, she hasn't actually done it because she's been running an amazing, wonderful gym for women here in the Gold Coast. So anyway, so literally the first day that my coach came into my life was such a huge turning point for me. And it wasn't even because of her per se, but when I was talking to her, Alex was sitting next to her during this initial seminar, and I can't even remember how much impact, like her potential words. I think I was just pretty ripe for it. By the time I got into that room, I was already like, no, I want to do this. And but yeah, she's just talking to me, and she's like, it'd be amazing for you to do at your age. Like, I was 23 at the time, and like just like I could just clear all the crap that we make mean things in our brains to then start and create life from a clear space to create whatever I wanted in life. And at the time, what was going on? Yeah, I was working at a fruit and veggie packing delivering place, which was a great company, and it was a good job, but it wasn't what I really wanted to be doing with my life. I had wanted to work in costume. I had been working in costume on a TV show called Spartacus for a couple of seasons before that, but then for a multitude of things, I don't know, whatever reason, I didn't end up on the season that was shooting at the time, and then I kind of had to take a retail job, which didn't go so well, and was just wanting some form of work-life balance. And anyway, I found this 4-day a week fruit and veggie packing delivering thing where you got free fruit and veggies, which is a win for me because I'm a fruit and vegetable nerd. And so yeah, I was working there, and it ticked some boxes, but I really just wanted to go travelling. I'd wanted to since I was like 18, but couldn't get out of my own way to save enough money to make it happen. And this helped clear the space to really have me powerfully create that I wanted that. And so within, I want to say like 8 months of doing the course, I had managed to save up enough to move to London, and had moved to London, and did my 2-year visa over there, and just completely changed how I looked at the world. Incredible course. Honestly, I'm not here to sell this course, but I will happily sell this course anytime to anyone because it made such a difference for me. I think most of Landmark's operations are online now, so it's good and bad. I would prefer it to be in person personally, but I do think that means it makes it more accessible to anyone wherever you are. So if you look up the Landmark Education, they have a website, and you can figure out when you can find out more in an intro evening. And yeah, highly recommend If you Google it, probably will come up with a bunch of people that decide to point out as a cult, but I can guarantee you, like, I haven't reached out to them since 2019. That they're not like on my tail trying to praise be or bless whatever. Yeah, like if I called them up, they'd probably want me to volunteer on a bunch because it would be beneficial to both of us. But it's not like I have a choice, you know? Like I have a choice. So, and also cult is just short for culture sometimes. So it depends on if it's a dark cult or if it's helping you in your life and helping you grow, then like sweet. That sounds like a great cult to be a part of, you know? Pop culture, you know? I'm a cult fan of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, so it can be cult fan of a personal development course too. Yeah, so funny. I prefer to have that conversation rather than have someone be like, oh, she suggested this thing and now I'm all confused because the internet is telling me all sorts of things that, you know, as the internet does, it confuses the hell out of us. But yeah, so so grateful for that course. So I went on to do the advanced course, which is another 3 days, but it just takes it like 10x what the original 3-day does. And they're really not expensive. Like I'm sure their prices would have been put up since I did it because it was like 2012, but they keep it really affordable for people. And like I think my first one was like under $1,000, which for a 3-day and an evening course, that was like, I want to say it was from like 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. those 3 days. Like that is so cheap. So I mean, I would say that it might be a decent whack more than that with inflation and everything these days. But if it's all online, maybe not because they don't have to cover overhead. So who knows. But yeah, I just love the possibilities I got to create and what all the gunk I got to clear out and just not make it mean stuff when it doesn't need to mean stuff. So yeah, highly recommend if you want to check that out. But yeah, it really taught me that breakdowns lead to breakthroughs. So if you're in a breakdown, well, it's not fun, and I feel for you. Honestly, I do. But like I won't say it's nothing, but from that kind of space of feeling like at rock bottom, that means the only way is up. That you can only create. You can just, if you're going to start over anyway, why not create the reality you want? But also, it's probably not as dark and dire as your brain can make it seem when you're at rock bottom. I think there's such lessons, and like, it's only through having those darker moments that we get to get deeper in this human experience of ours. And it makes, when things are really good, so much more potent, and you're so much more grateful for them, and it just creates a depth of lived experience that makes you such, I don't know, it's like not that we want to be a resilient person, like we shouldn't have to be resilient, but like, gosh, you just I mean, also just being able to reframe things so quickly through the technology, the words, the conversations we have at Landmark, just blew my mind and made such a difference. And it creates a beautiful sense of peace as well. So, yeah, I love personal development work, and it really started there. And I remember secretly thinking, watching the Landmark Forum leader talk at the front of the stage, and thinking, man, I would love to do something like this, but oh no, costume is my thing. Like, I really want to have a costume career, and I could only done, you know, a couple of years of that, and at that point, and it was sporadic, you know, and so I was like, okay, well maybe later, you know, but I stuck it out, and I did yeah, so I ended up, so also through this, I learned how to network and speak to people, and also understand every person as a human being that is, you know, insecure about things. They have their ups, their downs, their strong suits, their the things that they want to go for, the things they're passionate about, the things, their traumas, you know, like everyone has their own shit they're going through. And just seeing that made such a profound difference to how I view the world and every person I meet. Like just forms, well, I mean, I was already a kind person, but it really like emphasized for me how important it is to be kind to everyone in any given day, because you just don't know what people are going through. And I'd prefer to be someone that brightens someone's day than otherwise, you know. Yeah, and so I managed to focus enough to get traveling when I did this course, and you know, within 8-9 months as well. Crazy. When I've been struggling for years, I was so happy, and then I moved over to London, and I did it scrappy, and I got a job at a pub at first, and did that for about 10 months, and kept Google alerts and to keep up to the scratch of if there was any costume networking opportunities coming up, which didn't happen very often. But I also thankfully was lucky enough that Landmark has offices around the world, and they had a London office at the time. I hope they still do. I don't actually know. But yeah, with COVID, it kind of put a spanner in the works. But yeah, I had done so the original course and the advanced course in New Zealand, and then I'd also, like, the original course comes with 10 sessions of a seminar as well that you can come to, and it's like, I mean, even if you buy the seminar outright, it's ridiculously cheap. Like, I feel like back in 2012 I paid like $80 for the whole 10 sessions. Like, it's nothing. So yeah, and that just helps you kind of put the Landmark learnings into action for yourself and what your dreams are and what you want in your life over that kind of 10-week time, which is very helpful, because the quick amazing potent power of Landmark those 3 days is no joke. And like, you show up the next week and like there's a divine shift about you that a lot of people, who used to seeing you show up a certain way, it can really blow their minds. And most importantly, it's hopefully blowing your mind in a good way, because you're the one that gets to experience all the feelings that come along with that. Yeah, and anyway, doing it over a 10-week time really helps get grounded a bit more and get it a bit more like woven into reality of like how you're going to show up in that way for what you want. And yeah, so having done a seminar in New Zealand before I left, I thought, you know what, if I found out there was a London office, so I was like, well, when I get over to London, I'll just sign up for a seminar as soon as I get there. That way I can start networking, meeting people that have done Landmark and understand integrity, because integrity is huge in Landmark. Doing what you said you were going to do when you said you were going to do it, and restoring your integrity if it's if you drop the ball, because there's always going to be times we drop the ball. And another really important lesson, and honestly, I probably could do with the spirit of Landmark lately, because sometimes I think sometimes my integrity can be lacking with myself, doing what I said I was going to do for myself when I said I was going to do it. Does fall to the wayside sometimes, but I definitely have it playing on my mind, and I do what I can to still show up with that integrity. But also I know that I consistently expect too much of myself and about a million tabs, and it's just not possible for me to do all the things sometimes. So it's just learning to not overpromise and underdeliver, like trying to do the opposite So yeah, did that amazing landmark course, and then so I did the landmark seminar when I got to London. Met lots of lovely people, and just as that was wrapping up, I think I did volunteered for them on a Saturday morning about something, and this is about 10 months into my my time in the UK, and I had found out that same day I was volunteering, there finally was going to be a costume get together to network, meet costume designers and supervisors and such, and turns out, this is just crazy synchronicity, that very seminar in the whole of the huge city of London, that seminar was literally across the road from the building that Landmark is housed in. It was mental. Like, that is some universal crap going on there, I don't know. Anyway, so I volunteered for a couple of hours, and I had organised that I was going to skip out early so I could go to the seminar. And then I got a bunch of contacts and sent a few emails after the fact and made some friends that I'm still friends with. And I ended up, through that day of networking, I got work on Star Wars: The Force Awakens, and that led on to me working on James Bond, Spectre, and like in my wildest dreams I wouldn't have thought I was capable of that, especially, you know, a year before, when I hadn't done, or a couple of years before, I guess, when I hadn't done any personal development and I didn't know how to speak to people. So yeah, it still blows my mind. I still think, because I mean those shows were so secretive when I was working on them, especially Star Wars, they're like I don't have any proof or any photos of me working on it or anything. I just have the lived experience that I had. Even my payslips had like a code name. So anyway, it was just the coolest experience, that if I hadn't done this, if I hadn't said yes to doing this personal development course, and looking deeper at myself, I mean, for all I know, I could have spent this entire time living in New Zealand, feeling bored, and not that New Zealand's not great, don't get me wrong, New Zealand's great, but I wouldn't have been necessarily going for my dreams. I would have been doing a semblance. I would have been lucky to have done a semblance of what I've done in my life, and I've had so many wonderful experiences in my life. I'm so grateful. Like, I've travelled quite extensively by myself. I've had the courage to do so. Like, and I honestly don't feel like it's that courageous because it's just so normal to me. But I have people that reflect that back to me frequently, that like, wow, you're so brave, Crystal, to just go on your own. And I'm like, well, why am I going to wait around for anyone? Like, I've got me. Like, I'm the best person I know. So anyway, and yeah, I wouldn't have had the incredible experience on getting to dress stormtroopers and aliens and rebels. Oh my. You know, getting to vacuum clean the floor for Harrison Ford and stuff like that, you know? Hashtag blessed vacuuming. But yeah, I'm so grateful. And then, like, you know, I kind of became a thing that I would do a seminar every year, because they have a whole bunch of different topics of seminars, and I would so when or maybe every 2 years, so and then I went back to New Zealand. I did another seminar to kind of reintegrate myself back into New Zealand and get me going there. And then when I moved to Vancouver, I did another one of the seminars, and thank God I did, because one of my absolute best mates, one of my favourite people in the world, I met doing one of those seminars. She lives in Canada. She's over in Nova Scotia. and I'm very excited because in a few months she's going to be coming to Sydney. I'm not in Sydney, but I will go down and meet her there. It's going to be so much fun. Can't wait to see her. And yeah, I'm just so lucky I've got to live this life. And if I didn't learn to look at myself, to do the deep work, to look at a breakdown with curiosity, so much of the incredible things I've got to experience in my life wouldn't have happened. So that's why I like to lean into breakdowns. I feel like I didn't even tell that good of a story as to like a breakdown moment to then lead to a breakthrough, but I mean, having a literal breakdown in that in that driveway of my customer when I was delivering that fruit and veg, and then not wanting to go to this was kind of a breakdown. Yeah, but it's also like another big topic that I talked about. In fact, it was on my advanced course, so that about a month later I did another 3-day course, which was the advanced course with Landmark. And my big thing on my heart was that like I didn't know how to speak to guys and I really wanted to get out there, but I mean, to be honest, like I was not sexually active because I didn't think anyone saw me that way. I had really low self-esteem when it came to guys, and I mean, I had dated a bit, but like so I was still a virgin. Like, oh, I can't believe I'm just sharing this right now in public, but here we are. Anyway, whatever, I'm like 37 now, it's fine. But yeah, at almost 24, and yes, a part of it was that I didn't want to just, sleep with anybody, but I also just didn't know that anyone would find me attractive, and I also just didn't think that I could speak to guys. Like, I was just like, if I look at them, then they might think that I like them, and then I can't do that, so then just look away. Like, I was very awkward, deliciously awkward. Anyway, so on that first day of the second weekend, the advanced course, I went up and spoke at the microphone. I put my hand up right at the start because I learnt, if I do that fast, then I get the rewards, and if I lean into the breakdown of this, then I get the breakthrough faster. And I've got all these wonderful people in this room holding space for me, including a coach that's going to call me out on my bullshit, so let's do this. Lean into the breakdown. So I went up and said, I really want a boyfriend, and I didn't, that was so, it was so not cool to say in my head, like, because I don't want to be that girl, And my forum leader basically just, like, lovingly laughed at me. Like, what are you worried about? It's women that are hard. Men are easy. And I'm like, men are easy. Like, considered that. And then I was like, interesting. And then I think I had somehow connected with someone recently. There was a bartender, and anyway, he happened to work right around the corner from where this course was happening, and so I then basically was like, well, men are easy. So I went around there. I feel like it might have been on the lunch break, or maybe it was after the course that day. I just took immediate action and I said, hey, do you want to go out? Like, I just went for it. and then we went out for like, well, I mean, I was moving country pretty soon, but like for 6 months or something, we went out and had a good time, and yep, popped that cherry, and like just like I was making it mean so much. I was making everything mean so much, and so like I was just sitting in this little dark corner in my head, feeling like I couldn't do things, or like I wasn't worthy of the things that I wanted, and like I honestly, I was too scared to have deep conversations with this person. I look back now for that entire conversation because I didn't want it to mess up with my plans of moving overseas. So, yes, but it was a wonderful person, and we had fun together, and it was great. And I am grateful for that, and I just leaned into what was the embarrassing thing to say, to the thing that might might cause me a breakdown, and I just pointed it out, and I was truthful, and I was authentic, and I just used it to move through it and take action in the opposite direction towards what I actually wanted. So, love me a good breakdown, even if it's not a breakdown yet. If I just don't want it to get to the point of being a breakdown, I can just nip that in the bud and get to the breakthrough quicker, So you gotta lean into the uncomfortable feelings sometimes. Anyway, that was quite the story. Hopefully I've piqued your interest about Landmark, because I'm just very much all about people doing the deep work and love them. Honestly, ask me questions anytime. I promise I'm not getting paid by them. There's no commission. There's no free toaster or anything. It's a joke that they always use. Anyway, I want people to just be able to feel into their core what's important to them, and not be afraid of it. Be curious about it. Be curious about why you might want that. Make sure that it's tuned in with them, their core, their compass, what's important to them, and not the people around them that have told them they're supposed to want X, Y, Z. But I want them to, I want us to like deeply know ourselves, so that we know immediately when opportunities come up whether they're a fuck yes or a fuck no, that we're not just settling for stuff that does not light us up, I want that for you. I want that for you. I want that for me. But I want that for everybody. As long as they're choosing to do good with their will, because again, I don't want to bring up those people that don't choose to do good with their will, but I just love when good people get to go for the things that they want, and then they create that beautiful thing. They create beautiful things for the world that way, that hopefully more people get to enjoy, and it helps lift up the world and remove blockages and red tape, and just makes life more exciting to live, Anyway, sending much love to you and your core and whatever's on your heart. If you ever need help tuning in with that, you know where to find me, on here, or really Instagram DMs. It's a good time. I love good voice notes, so hit me up with a voice note. I'll probably send you a mini audiobook back, or maybe podcast episode. By that, to be clear, I'm saying it's going to be a long voice note, but I'll tell you some things. And we can also always set up a call just to get a feel, to see what we could do together. But also, if you just want to know more about Landmark, hit me up too, because I've really been selling it here tonight, so may as well. Anyway, much love, and help you do what's right for you in all the ways. Have the courage and the curiosity. Okay, shut up now. Good night.